Thank you for joining us tonight for our first micro pitch of 2025. A big thank you to our host locality, Hampton. Also like to thank the cities of Newport News, Williamsburg, and Poquoson, as well as James City County and York County. Tim, we have a great event lined up for tonight.
Yes, we do, Gary. In less than 2 hours, we're going to know the first group of pitchers that will advance to the championship pitch event on November 5th. For tonight, and as with all micro pitches, we will have 10 pitchers. The top three from each will advance to the championship pitch event in November. So tonight will represent the first group of people of the top 12 of the year. So, Gary, before we get started, what are the rules of the micro pitch?
Yeah, we have just a few requests. One is we ask that you refrain from using the group chat feature to make comments to everyone, especially if someone's pitching, and we don't want to distract the pitcher. And if you want to use the chat feature to connect with a specific person that you feel like you could help or whatever, then go ahead and do that with the person, but do it directly. And then thanks in advance for honoring that. And as Tim mentioned, we have 10. We actually have 9 pitchers tonight. And each pitcher will have 3 minutes to pitch their business. And that will be followed by 2 minutes of Q&A with the judges. And the way Q&A works is that all 3 judges will ask their questions one after another. And then the pitcher will have 2 minutes to answer the questions that are asked. So those of you who are pitching, be sure you have a way to take notes as the judges ask their questions. And please don't start to answer any questions until all the judges have provided their questions. And just a reminder for the judges to be sure that you only ask one question when it's your turn to ask a question and not bombard the pitcher with more than one. So each of you gets one question. Tim, speaking of judges, who are the judges tonight?
Yes, we put great effort into those judges, and I will turn it over to the judges so they can introduce themselves. But we have Himalaya Rao, we have Henry Cobb, and we have Chris Davidson. But Himalaya, if you want to take a quick moment and introduce yourself, please do so.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Himalaya Rao, and I am so happy to be here, so happy to support you all. Wear 2 hats. On one hand, I run a venture fund and invest in entrepreneurs with a definite focus in the Hampton Roads area, but then also do some national investing as well. And then on the other hand, I also run a nonprofit that trains people from many different socioeconomic and geographic backgrounds in how to be a capital allocator. So glad to be here, and thank you all so much for pitching.
Thank you, Himalaya. And Henry Cobb.
Good evening. I'm Henry Cobb. I'm the new director of the Hive Business Resource Center in Virginia Beach, serving the entire region. Uh, Hi, Elizabeth. Um, so I've been in the entrepreneurial world on my own, and like I said, way back with Dan, I did micro lending years and years ago. So I'm honored to be here, a part of this tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Henry. And Chris Davidson.
Hey, Tim and Gary. This is Chris Davidson, and I, along with my wife, own Orca Strategies, which is a corporate economic development and government relations consulting company. Also been pretty well embedded in the entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Hampton Roads and across the state of Virginia, following closely behind trailblazers like Zach Miller and Tim Ryan, who are on the call with us right now. Also serve on the board of the Entrepreneurship Center at James Madison University, my alma mater, and judge and MC pitch competitions all over the state. So it's a pleasure to be with you guys tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. And the way that the program is going to work in terms of pitching tonight is that we'll have the first 5 pitchers go ahead with their pitch. Then we're going to take a short break. Once we return, we'll have the final 4 pitchers pitch. Then the judges are going to go off into their deliberation room. And then during that time, we'll open up the floor for questions and answers, and we'll make some other announcements. Once the judges have decided who those 3 winners to advance are, they will return here, and then we will make the big announcement. But as a friendly reminder, we know that you're all nervous. So when it is your turn to pitch, don't forget to unmute yourself. Share your screen if you have slides. Then once your pitch is done, stop sharing your screen. The judges will ask all of their questions, one question each. And then after the last question is asked, me as your timer, I will go ahead and hit the timer for 2 minutes. Then when you're done answering those questions, remute your mic and sit back and enjoy the rest of the evening. So let's get started.
Yep, thanks, Tim, for lining that all up for us. Are the pitchers ready? Is everybody ready? Thumbs up. Ready to roll? All right, our first up tonight is going to be Stephanie. Stephanie, are you ready?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, and then we'll give you the big intro.
Are we good?
You were good. You ready?
I am.
All right, everybody, please welcome our first pitcher, Stephanie Russell from Bling Owl Creations.
When you walk onto a college campus, you're likely to see two things: swarms of college branded clothing that's geared towards the mass market, and some women rocking their own personalized apparel that shows off their true personality. And let me tell you, that gets all the attention. Women's apparel have seen triple-digit growth historically, making it the second largest category. Second largest category after men's unisex t-shirts, primarily because men's sports have been dominated the markets and therefore have shaped the apparel you see. That landscape is changing, yet the fashion choices haven't. Limited options for rhinestone and bling collegiate wear on the internet. There are very few manufacturers specializing in high quality rhinestone apparel. The production process requires specialized high dollar equipment, and there's very few personalized options. But today I'm here to share a very exciting opportunity with Bling Owl Creations, a brand that's redefining women's college fashion. After attending hundreds of events, sharing our products, talking to over 20,000 people, and selling more than $140,000 before we ever got our first college license, we know we are onto something big. We now have licensed, customized apparel that women are excited to wear and show off at game days, events, tailgates, or even just around town. We are a women-owned business decorated with all of our products decorated in the United States. That way we can ensure high quality and exclusive designs. The college branded merchandise market is a $4.6 billion industry. The local market is right. 56% of all college students are women. And in Hampton Roads alone, that's estimated to be over 50,000 female students. The demand is there with sports fans, family members, sorority sisters, students, staff members, alumni. They all want something fashion forward and unique. There are over 5 million female students in America and 4 million sorority members nationwide. That's why we're focused on this core market. We have been sparkling in the markets for a long time, and this is where we see our growth. I will tell you, referrals are our number one seller. When people wear our products, people stop them and ask them where they bought it because they want one of their own. I have a very highly successful website that's been up and running for 3 years, and we ship nationwide. We are in negotiations with the nationwide college bookstore buyers that they are currently reviewing our samples this week. And when they open up that door, we have doors to other licenses as well. We're being featured at the Virginia Collegiate Licensing Convention tomorrow with 14 different colleges. We would love to secure Instagram influencers on each campus that we have licenses for. We'd love to get involved with more local alumni chapters and big events. We're going to look for opportunities for the college cheer squad and dance teams because you know they all love bling. We'd also like to apply for several sorority licenses down the road. We have a dedicated team. I have over 30 years of experience in the rhinestone world, and my staff of designers, administrative staff, and production assistants ensure smooth operations. We've proven we can execute, but now we're ready to scale. To capitalize, we need another rhinestone machine, additional team members, marketing campaigns, and social media managers. It's the perfect time for growth. Let's make bling game day fashion the new standard. Everything's better with bling.
Great. Thank you very much. If you want to unshare your screen, grab something to write down some questions, and we'll get questions from the judges. And so let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
Okay, we're going to start with Himalaya.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your pitch, Stephanie. My question is around the manufacturing, production, and then distribution of your product. Are you doing that in-house, or are you doing that with a third-party service that then you're able to produce and distribute and ship out your process? I'd like to understand how centralized or decentralized and local hubs that looks like from the manufacturing and production to the distribution.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next, Chris.
Hey, Stephanie, I'm curious if you want to go back a little bit. Why are you pitching at Start Peninsula? It sounds like you're off to a pretty good start and you've got a lot of ducks in the row. So, what are you looking to gain by being here? And should you win, how would that help you?
Okay,
And Henry.
thank you.
Himalaya took mine. Yeah.
That is the downfall of being the last person to ask,
Yes,
but
it
you'll have
is.
your chance to go first here soon.
Hey,
You can defer if you wish, or if another judge has another question, then feel free.
I have one. If he's willing to give it up. You mentioned that you're ready to scale to a new level. So, what is your goal?
Okay.
Okay, when you
start.
start answering the questions, then Tim will give you 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity. Himalaya, I actually manufacture everything in-house. I own my own rhinestone machines. I currently have 2. That's why I need an additional one to be able to handle production. That way I can ensure quality. So I don't have a third party doing any of it at this point. Doesn't mean I won't in the future, but I can currently handle the amount that is coming through here. Henry, you asked why I'm pitching here. I had a great business model outside of college licenses, but just 5 months ago, I decided it was time for me to step up and get college licenses. I currently have 5. My goal is to be in all college bookstores across the nation. And that's why I'm here, because I need assistance with manufacturing, with social media, all of that stuff to get to that next level, because currently there are no vendors in college bookstores that sell rhinestone apparel. So, Chris, the goal is nationwide. And everyone I've talked to, every store that I've ever been to, and every event that I've ever been to, the women are telling me, you need to be in the bookstores. You need to be in the bookstores. We want your products, and it's not available to us at the moment. So hopefully I answered your questions.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Okay, judges, when you give me the thumbs up, we'll go on to our next pitcher. Henry's good. Emily's good. Chris is good. Okay, Jacqueline, are you ready?
I am. Thank you so much. I'll get my screen shared.
Yeah, go ahead and share that, and then I'll give you the big intro.
And are we able to see everything okay?
Yeah, there you go. And you just need to be in presenter mode. You're showing us the opposite way.
I see.
Stop presenting. Present button.
It's funny how that always happens. We
It
practice,
does.
it does it perfect, and then there's like
There we
something
are.
sneaky.
It's the
Is this
ground.
better?
Yep,
Yes, there
perfect.
you go. Okay, you
Thank
ready
you
to
so
go?
much for your patience.
Yeah, you ready to roll?
I'm
Everybody,
ready.
please welcome Jacqueline Akers from Hypercube Motors Corporation.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Akers, and this is Swati here with me. We met 5 years ago in college, learning how to become nurses, and in the past 5 years, we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of wonderful opportunities, but unfortunately, it's been a rough journey. We've seen a couple challenges: repetitive tasks, water, blankets, anything that you could need, the nurse comes for. That sometimes leads to nursing burnout, and unfortunately, that further down the line leads to staff shortages, physical strain, and this is especially seen on night shift. Unfortunately, the impact of these challenges is largely on the patients. Patients report decreased satisfaction because the nurses are burnt out. They can't have their requests met in a timely manner. And unfortunately, this also drives up the cost of healthcare with the need of travel staff. So we wondered to ourselves, what would be the best solution? How can we get a helping hand? So we dreamed up Nyla that we'll show you in just a couple minutes. Now, this is a ripe landscape for some change. Hospitals hired almost 500,000 registered nurses in 2024, but unfortunately, we're not able to retain many of these staff. Virginia has a 19% registered nurse turnover, and that's much higher than the national average that ranges from 14 all the way up to 26%. If we could change the nurse turnover by just 1%, we would save the average hospital $262,000 a year. So Nyla is our solution. Nyla is a teleoperated robot that operates for 24 hours, and she can teledocument as well as document patient care needs. We propose Nyla will save cost, reduce nursing burnout, and improve care. Some of Nyla's features are the ability to interact with a patient over her screen and by her teleoperator, which can answer any patient questions. We estimate that nurses spend over 30% of their time on non-critical tasks that Nyla can take over, bringing up nurses to focus on doing what they do best, connecting with patients and performing critical tasks. Thank you so much for listening to our new innovative solution, and we look forward to hearing your questions.
And that's time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. If you want to unshare your screen and you're ready to take some questions from the judges.
Sure thing.
Okay. There you go. Chris, we're going to start with you this time.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is a pretty exciting market that you're entering here, and I'm curious to know how far along are you at this point? So do you have a working prototype? And if so, do you have a working AI framework for this already in terms of software? Is it going to be like on-prem, or is it going to be run from a remote server?
Okay. Henry, next.
Along those lines, in your research, have you found anyone using something like this in a hospital setting?
And Himalaya.
My question is around the non-critical tasks. So are you talking about like just check-ins, like insurance verification? Are you talking about patient history? Are you talking about vitals? Or are you going to like, administration of like medication, getting IV bags in? So like, what is the scope and range of like non-critical tasks?
And we have 2 minutes to answer those once you start talking.
Thank you all so much for your questions today. So to start off with, we actually have Nyla back here with us. We have a working prototype, and we are currently in the pilot phase. So we are right now interviewing primarily local hospitals to see where Nyla might fit best for her first pilot. One of our goals here today is to secure funding to develop AI training models. We will use that pilot data to feed those models. That way we can help Nyla work even better in the future. So Nyla is a teleoperated solution. So Nyla will exist on the hospital premises, but our teleoperator will be communicating via a proprietary and integrated software from a remote location. There are some similar products on the market, but none that can do exactly what Nyla can. Other robots can do material transfer, so just simply transferring, say, like a lab specimen to the lab, or there's some that are just strictly camera-based. Nyla can do much more because she has a hand that can perform any single arm function. And as far as non-critical tasks go, some of these might include delivering water to a patient, blankets, lab transfers, documenting patient requests, and also asking the patient questions. So in the hospital, we do hourly rounding to ensure the patient is comfortable and that their needs are being met. So that would be a great use for Nyla, is to just check in with patients every hour. Thank you.
Okay.
And that's time.
Yep. Great. Thank you. Judges, yeah, we give me the thumbs up when you're ready to go. Chris is good. Okay, everybody's ready? Edward, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. You want to go ahead and share your screen?
All right. Are you able to see it?
No? There you go. You can see it. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody, please welcome Edward DeVries from TRO Energy Solutions Incorporated.
Imagine driving your plug-in electric to your house and not being able to plug in and charge. At home charging is the 80 to 90% of where all plug-in electric energy charging will be done. This convenience of being able to charge at your house where the energy is the cheapest, where it's the most convenient to you, your time, and your schedule is the golden standard as it relates to EV charging, not just battery electric, but your plug-in electric hybrids. Our military service members and their families find themselves in this quagmire where they don't have the ability to modify their homes to take advantage of this EV charging window. Due to their lease addendums, the housing providers don't have a venue or an avenue in which they can offer this amenity of the EV in-home charging to the service members and stay compliant with the directives coming from the Department of Defense, specifically the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, that states you can charge your car, but you are not allowed to do it on a home circuit. You must have a specifically dedicated circuit that's independently monitored and metered to charge an EV on military installations. The leases that residents are signing do not allow them to install and conduct EV charging in their home or to provide these independently monitored and metered circuits. Well, that's where TRO Energy Solutions has found the solution here to help these individuals out is by our charging service agreement. What we have is we have a 25 to 50-year commitment to be the exclusive non-compete EV charger provider solution for in-home charging as well as community charging on military installations. What we've done is we've taken it where our service members, through a scanning of a QR code, download, register, and have EV charging at their fingertips. What you're seeing now is charging in a number of the different homes across the continental United States of our service members actively plugging in their Teslas, their plug-in electric hybrids, and charging their cars at home overnight on their military installations, waking up the next day and going to work. It's simple. We designed our own iOS simple, our own native platform that we handle all the register as well as the management, which is important to a number of our military partners to ensure the integrity of the system. 3 simple steps get you registered and enrolled. My team and I have founded and designed, we've partnered up with a strategic advisory board to make sure that we're designing and enrolling in the best, highest standards for the Department of Defense. And this is how you can reach out to us with any questions, comments, concerns you have about EV charging and how to bring charging home.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. If you want to unshare your screen and we'll get started with some questions from the judges.
Absolutely.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
This time we're going to start with Henry.
I'm not sure what happened on my camera side, but the avatar of me is still there somewhere. Now, in doing this, would you have to sell this through at the DoD as a federal contractor, or would you act as a sub? What's the channel for selling?
Okay, next, Himalaya.
Thanks for the pitch. Can you talk a little bit more about what defensibility you've built up internally within your systems with patents or externally of like how other people won't be able to sell into the DoD as well? Like what other compliance features do you have? Thanks.
And Chris.
Okay, I see a potential for a bigger market other than just military installations. So do you have plans to take this outside of that market? And if so, what does that look like?
Absolutely. Great question. So the first one on the contract avenues, what we've done is we've actually designed our contracts outside of the DoD environment, specifically outside of GSA. we're not held or abiding by anything that any one of the administration has. We have a service agreement with the individual user to provide the services for them. So this has got nothing to do with GSA acquisition or any of the federal contracts that come through GovWin or FedBizOps. We're completely separate from that. We're providing the service to the military housing companies. That's why we have contracts that last the 25 to 50 years, because we have actually physical leases on the property to do these modifications to the infrastructure while it's viewed as real property. Defensibility, ma'am. In part of what we've done in our contract for our serviceability or our services to the housing partners is we specifically call out that we have exclusive non-compete rights to be the only service provider within their housing footprint. So the physical property that they as a JV, this is the JV between the privatized military housing partner and the government, that physical land space, they cannot offer it as a service. They can't bring in other vendors that are able to do it as well. And they're not allowed to approve modifications to structures that would be a similar offered service. Yes, sir. To your point, Mr. Davidson, you're 100% correct. What we've seen is that we've got concentric circles where this model works exceptionally well. Our housing partners have actually taken us outside the fence line and are allowing us to apply our service to their traditional models for renting, where we're now offering our services to multifamily apartment complexes as well as multifamily dwellington units. That way they can have these modifications at no cost to them, where it's a monitored service. It's EV charging as a subscription.
And that's time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I'll wait to hear from the judges. Carol, you're on deck next. You ready?
Yes.
Just don't share anything yet. Let me just. Himalaya's good. Chris is good. And Henry's good. Awesome. Okay. Go ahead and share your screen, Carol.
Are we good?
Yeah, you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, everybody, please welcome Carol Ellison from TWR Cafe, the Writing Room.
Martin Luther once said, if you want to change the world, pick up your pen and write. Life has a way of blindsiding us when we least expect it. Imagine a newlywed couple less than a year in their marriage when the husband is diagnosed with an aggressive cancer, so severe that his radiation treatment is implanted in his body, making him radioactive. This was my reality in 2002. I found myself navigating an unimaginable journey, advocating for his treatment, managing our emotions in relationship, and trying to survive. In the midst of chaos, my pen became my lifeline. I wrote my way through the uncertainty by documenting strategies, organizing thoughts, and ultimately building tools that transform survival into success. From that experience, TWR Cafe, the Writing Room, was born. More than a coaching business, it's a self-help hub that leverages the power of writing to guide individuals through life setbacks. TWR Cafe stands apart by merging coaching and personal writing into an intentional method for transformation. We're not a therapy substitute, nor just a journaling platform. We're a guided self-help experience that leverages the therapeutic benefits of writing into a practical, results-driven format. Unlike traditional coaching models that offer one-size-fits-all, we provide vetted coaching services tailored to personal growth and transformation, custom writing resources, including workbooks, worksheets, and guided journals, and technology-driven solutions like digital planners and interactive courses. Our plan is to corner 42% of the women in the Hampton Roads market within the next 3 to 5 years to reach our projected financial goals and expand our impact in the self-help industry. Studies have shown journaling practices can positively impact various outcomes, including a sense of fulfillment, goal attainment, and even some aspects of physical health. This research reinforces the foundation of TWR Cafe, which was launched to empower individuals through the transformative power of writing. Our impact speaks for itself. 2 former clients, now thriving entrepreneurs, now serve on our advisory board. This year, we're launching a new website to streamline our services and expand our digital offerings. By 2027, we want to launch TWR Cafe Academy, an online learning platform bringing personal transformation to a broader audience. I am Coach Carol, and I help you negotiate your reality on paper to empower you to win from within by making your pen your friend. Thank you for your time.
And that's time.
Okay, thank you. You want to unshare your screen,
Okay.
grab something to take some questions,
Okay.
and let me know when you're ready. Just unshare. Yep, and when you're ready to write down some questions.
Okay.
Ready? Okay, we're going to start with Himalaya this time.
Perfect. Great pitch. What I want to know is when you think about brand visibility, there's a lot of noise and a lot of saturation in the self-help market. So what is your plan to be able to break through that, to be able to reach that target audience?
Next, Chris.
Okay, good job, Carol. My question is about scalability. So, and forgive me, I may have missed, is there an actual cafe? Is this a physical location? And if so, how would you plan to scale that? In generally, what are your plans for scaling?
And Henry.
Kind of jumping ahead of Himalaya's question, tell us a little bit about your background in coaching and why you chose this niche of coaching.
And when you start answering, Tim will give you 2 minutes.
Okay. So my goal for brand visibility is, or my pathway rather, is I'm partnering with a lot of community organizations, nonprofits, community partners that allow me to leverage my exposure concerning journal coaching. My scalability, no TWR Cafe currently, it is just a digital platform. I do group coaching, self-care workshops, but for the most part, most of my sales are done through e-commerce platform. And how did I get into coaching? I would say that coaching found me. I didn't search coaching out. I mentored women for approximately 15 years, and I created my own custom coaching program, and they seeded into me starting a business. It was them saying, you need to market this, is why I became an entrepreneur. So I hope that I've answered everyone's questions.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Oh, wait, is that Chris? We got a thumbs up from Chris. Himalaya's good. Henry's good. Okay. Next up is Billy J. You ready, Billy J?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You want to share your screen and we'll get you started.
You guys see it?
Yep. And then you probably want to start it in presentation mode. Down the bottom right. Looks like a screen. It's the last icon on the right at the bottom. Yep.
Got it?
There you go. Okay, you ready?
It's gonna be ready as I can be, I guess.
Here we go. Everybody, please give it up for Billy J. Kading from Anything EV.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to my pitch. I'm Billy Kading. I am CEO of Anything EV. We are in the electric vehicle space also. The whole net goal here is to have zero net emissions, clean energy from the whole Reduction Inflation Act. Let me get fast forward here. The issue right now is two things: range anxiety and EV charger storage shortage. I personally had experienced it myself by owning an electric vehicle and renting several EVs from my research. The issue, like I said, the issue right now is if the government's trying to push this whole electric vehicle initiative. Charging station has to be installed. There is about 75,000 units currently that is DC fast chargers, which means it will charge your EV in about 30 to 45 minutes. And it does require a three-phase system. So we're going to try to target apartment buildings, single-family homes, HOAs, public parking spaces, municipalities, public parks, malls, airports. The whole NEVI infrastructure program, which is the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure, is a federal program that gives each state a budget based on their population. Their plan is to put EV DC fast charger on every 50 miles of major interstate. That is the whole plan of the NEVI. It's technically a federal contract, but it is at state level also. We're trying to install it in pretty much manufacturing plants. We're trying to do more of industrial, commercial, and definitely the NEVI program. Our primary objective is to install the DC-FC fast charger electric vehicle charging stations, and then eventually move into the lithium-ion battery storage, disposal, and recycling programs, and then expand into the alternative fuel sector. Revenue, each one of the site right now here in Virginia is worth about $1,026,000, with the whole EV market kind of producing very futuristic fast chargers now. The chargers went from $250,000 per unit to right around 100 to 150,000. Our primary focus is definitely the NEVI program, the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure, that was from the Inflation Reduction Act from about 4 to 6 years ago.
And that is time.
Okay, thank you. If you want to unshare your screen and get ready to handle some questions from the judges. Ready for some questions? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start with Chris.
Okay, thanks for the pitch, Billy. So my question is about your revenue model. So are you actually providing chargers and installing them, or is this revenue model based on purely installation services? And along with that, will there be like a service fee structure so you can get continued ongoing revenue?
And Henry?
Are you currently making installations of any kind of scale in the area?
And Himalaya.
Hey, Billy, can you talk a little bit more about what your secret sauce is and why, you think that you're going to be able to sell into a market where a lot of people are trying to build EV charging stations rapidly?
And Tim will give you 2 minutes as soon as you start answering.
Chris, your question was if it's going to be sustainable, basically. So the government does require us to maintain these stations for 5 years. And my plan is also to sell extended warranty and also insurance on top of that to supplement the installation part of it. For Mr. Henry Cobb, we have been starting to install level 2 AC charger stations here, but we have not done any DC fast chargers yet. There's several sites that's already approved to be installed, and that's from 2 years ago. So I'm also going to pursue the ones that the contracts are been already approved also. And for the starting for the DC fast chargers, the market for anything EV is we're also going to do battery storage, recycling, research and development, even developing our own electric vehicles sooner or later. Like I said, like the title says, anything EV, anything clean energy, I want to be the man to do the actual, like I said, anything EV is my thing. So you ask me a question, then I'm gonna have an answer for you.
Great. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody, please welcome our next pitcher, Michael King from the Chakra Network.
Evening, everybody. And the anime community is made up of 800 million people worldwide. That means about 1 in every 10 people are anime fans. Despite the size of the market, there's a minuscule amount of media outlets that speak on the culture, releases, news, opinionated critics, and passions around a lot of people's favorite anime shows. Meet the Chakra Network. Introducing the Chakra Network podcast. We bring engaging discussions, exclusive interviews, and community-driven content with real-world experiences that cater to anime fans, gamers, pop culture enthusiasts. Our podcast extends beyond live conversations by also hosting in-person events, conventions, and exclusive merchandise. Our objectives is to build a strong community by incorporating interactive panels, meet and greets, theme gatherings, conventions, crossover with gaming tournaments, cosplay showcases, and anime-inspired experiences. Our market landscape is the combined market size for anime, manga, comic books, and is estimated to be around 60 billion and grossing over 800 million fans worldwide. How do we make money? So our media revenue is we average around 3 million views per month, bringing in our RPM of each individual platform. Ooh, went too fast. Back it on up. I sucked. There we go. We average around 300 million views per platform, bringing in an individual platform that we run. Also, that we've done many brand deals and collaborations. Also, our in-person events, we plan on driving in traffic with our in-person conventions and panels, charging for tickets and other minuscule add-ons. We also will do exclusive Chakra Network merch that we will promote on our social media outlets and our live events. This merch will be of the utmost quality, will be designed by one of our members in-house as well. What we have achieved thus far, we are the #1 podcast in Norfolk, Virginia, top 3 podcasts in the Hampton Roads, over 100 million views across all of our platforms, over 400,000 followers across all our platforms, averaging over 3 million organic views per month, and we're streaming in 61 different countries. Thanks for tapping in with the Chakra Network. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Thank you.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. If you want to unshare your screen and get ready for some questions from the judges.
Please bombard me. We can cut the tension in here with a knife, guys.
Okay, are you ready for some questions?
Unshared yet?
No, it's still there.
Unshare.
Should be a red button at the top.
Oh, there we go. Stop sharing. Duh.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay, ready for some questions?
I am. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to start with Henry this time.
Great job. We're not being graded on technology, so you're off the hook on that. I know you only have a limited amount of time to speak, but could you talk a little more about the revenue streams and maybe some projections?
Oh, yeah. So
but not yet. We'll get all the questions first and then let you do them. So Himalaya's next.
Okay. Hi, Michael. Can you talk a little bit about specifically what draws your consumer market to your brand and therefore to your in-person events, and like how is that maybe different between the virtual and the in-person events?
And finally, Chris.
Okay, great job. By the way, I am one of the 800 million fans. My daughter and I just finished Attack on Titan, and so I love the market. However, I'm kind of curious because usually in these pitch competitions, someone is pitching to either gain investment to get off the ground or gain, capital infusion to expand. So why are you pitching? What are you looking for?
Thank you. All
Okay,
great,
so once you start, Tim will give you 2 minutes to answer the questions.
all great questions. I put them all right here on the notes. So pretty much, uh, our revenue, how we make money, is through our social media platforms. We've been blessed to be monetized within the first year of us starting our podcast. It really just started off as friends, just sitting around and chopping up about anime. We've been able to curate an environment where dorks and geeks can sit down and talk about these things, these passionate things. And apparently the algorithm likes to see that happening. So what we do and what we decided to do is put ourselves out there on the internet and get monetized. We've been slowly gathering and increasing gap followers with the network. We prioritize. Our mission statement is to tap into with the community. And moreover, I forgot the second question. Darn it. So our RPM is pretty much will make $1,000 over the course per million views. Second question was, I'm losing it. So, oh yeah, how we're gonna scale are pretty much what we want to do, and why we're pitching. So what we want to do is bring different events to the 757 as far as different conventions where we can tell people, put a 757 spin on these conventions. We go to these conventions and we see how people cultivate a space where anime nerds can come and gather and geek out about stuff they love. So we want to raise capital to where we can do that and put on a quality event for the city. Right now, we're the biggest 757 podcast in the 757. And the people we're meeting who are doing with anime and the people who are doing these events don't have as much outreach that we do. So we feel like we can put a good spin on it and bring
That is time.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, thank you. So we'll wait to hear get a thumbs up from the judges. And Matthew, are you next? You're next. Are you ready to roll? Don't do anything yet, but I'll ask you to share your screen in a second.
Standing by.
So just hang on until make sure the judges are good with entering their information into their sheets. And Chris is good. Emily is good. I don't know if Henry's good or not. He just went blank. Ah, he's good. All right. Okay, Matthew, we're ready for you if you want to share your screen.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll make sure it's up and working, and then we'll give you the big intro.
Are we good to
Ready
go?
to go? You ready?
I am ready.
All right, everybody, please welcome Matthew Eschnauer from The Gentleman Florist.
So we are the only 5-star rated florist in Chesapeake. And as Henry does a quick fact check on me during Google, you will see that there is another florist that has a Chesapeake address that is 5-star rated. However, they are in South Norfolk, and that doesn't really count. So what that leads me into is the problem statement is that when I moved here to Chesapeake about 15 years ago, when Nickelback was king and hair gel was in the rage, I couldn't find a quality florist. So I was in the Navy deploying. I wanted flowers for my wife. She would send me pictures of what we were getting, and it was a subpar product to me. It lacked quality. It didn't last long. And then as we've moved around in the various parts of Chesapeake, there's no floral shop here in the Great Bridge area. The closest one is in Grassfield. And then as the housing market has expanded in this area, there is no current flower shop in Moyock either. And so I'll field a number of phone calls saying, hey, can you deliver to Moyock? Which is a 30-minute drive down the road. So there is a definite service that is needed. And so what we offer here is cradle to grave services, and literally cradle to grave. So from birth announcements to baby showers to weddings to funerals, anniversaries, birthdays, everything in between. But we also couple that with the need for having ready, steady income. And so we do that through a monthly subscription service. Currently, we're still growing that with only a couple of customers. But what distinguishes me from other florists is that I have implemented systems for customer service, for floral care and quality assurance, and training and design. So I'm over the last and then I also have a very solid relationship with the wholesalers in this area. I've looked at which ones are the quality wholesalers, which ones provide the services that I need in a pinch. And so I've kind of racked and stacked those. And so about us, I'm a veteran-owned business. I'm currently the sole operator of the business, but we're dedicated to what I call the Esquire model, the gentleman florist Esquire: elegance, quality, and service. Those are the three benchmarks by which we gauge everything that we do. And so I established in January of 2022. During that time frame, I started with $150. $50 went to my SEC filing, $50 went to my business license, and the other $50 went to the first purchase of flowers. In that first year, I generated.
That is time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. If you want to unshare your screen, and we'll get you some judge questions. And again, just wait till each of them has asked you a question. Capture them so you remember them. And we're going to start with Himalaya this time.
Perfect. I'm going to actually take one of Chris's great questions is like, what does the success plan look like? What are you on here to be able to do? If you were to advance, how would that help your future business plans?
And next, Chris.
Yeah, so I am unapologetic and proud systems thinker. And so my first thought when you started pitching was, well, this is a nice idea for a nice flower shop, not necessarily something that would attract venture money. However, you scratch that itch when you talked about your systems, because that's what makes things scalable and duplicatable. So I'd love to hear more about your systems within the time frame that you have.
And Henry.
And you may have been getting ready to get into this in your last slide. But what's going to differentiate you from all the choices online and locally, high quality or not aside, but what's going to be your differentiator to get the customers you need?
And Tim will give you 2 minutes once you start answering the questions.
Okay. So to Himalaya's question, what is my plan for success? My plan is personalized services. So if you look at some of my reviews, a lot of it is that Matt and the Gentleman Florist has taken that extra step to take care of the needs that I had. And so it's those building those customer relationships that are going to last, so that I build repeat customers. And then putting those stories out there so that it builds a following. And so that's what I've done over the last 3 years of this business, is really getting that word of mouth marketing out there, so that we can grow the business that way. As far as my systems that I have in place, so specific to the floral care, when I was trained as a florist working in high school, there's a certain way to cut the flowers. You have to do it at a regular interval. You have to clean the buckets. And so that's one of the systems that I have in place is a very detailed, how do you do that floral maintenance? How do you cut the flowers? As far as the customer service side of the house, I have a training program that begins with reading Colin Cowie's The Gold Standard, which is all about customer service and how do you interact with them. And then one of the basic things there is, how do you talk to people on a phone? Because there's a lot of younger generations that don't know how to do that. And so there's scripts that are in place. There's the individual coaching of the employees. And then to Henry's question about what differentiates me from other florists, from other services, aside from the quality of the product, it's that personal relationship. So and that's what builds the customer service aspect of us. And so what I strive to do is to form that relationship with every person that I talk to on the phone, whether that's with my vendors, whether that's with a customer, whether that's with my employees. So we're very relationship driven.
And that
That's
is
how
time. And one last question is, what is your favorite Nickelback song?
I used it as a pithy punchline, and I really don't like Nickelback, so I apologize.
All right, thank you. Wait to hear from the judges or give us a thumbs up. And Frank, are you ready to go next?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chris is good. Henry's good. Himalaya's good. All right, Frank, you can share your screen.
Can y'all see my screen?
We can. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, please welcome Frank King from Lifelight.
Your world is smart. Your phone thinks, your TV learns, and for some, your car can even drive itself. So why is the technology protecting your family still stuck in the past? Every year, millions are hospitalized due to undetected threats like gas leaks, toxic fumes, and hidden mold, and hundreds of thousands resulting in fatalities. While my time at Johnson Controls, a leader in life safety technology, I learned that local fire codes set minimum safety standards, typically only requiring smoke and sometimes carbon monoxide detection. This leaves numerous dangerous hazards completely unmonitored in most places. This risk gets worse when traveling, since fire codes vary widely globally. Even basic protections may be missing in international hotels, resorts, and Airbnbs. Major news outlets continuously report cases of tourists dying abroad due to undetected gas. While fire codes differ worldwide, the dangers remain the same and the cost is measured in human lives. It was this disconnect between technology and global safety standards that compelled me to act. I assembled a team of top engineers and scientists to create a revolutionary technology, one so unique it's patent pending with continuous innovation and progress. Introducing Lifelight, the intelligent all-in-one safety device that detects smoke, gas, toxic fumes, and mold simultaneously. While traditional detectors sense limited hazards and trigger false alarms from dust, steam, or cooking, Lifelight uses AI and chemical signatures to identify real threats, delivering accurate alerts to property owners, managers, and users. Our product is designed for simplicity. There is a standalone solution that just connects to power and you're protected. There's also a connected solution, which you simply scan the device's QR code, label the location and using the app, connect to power and a network, and that's it. Our technology addresses a $100 billion global market that's growing at 17% annually. We'll initially focus on residential applications to achieve product market fit with minimum regulatory barriers. Next, we'll expand to the hospitality sector, leveraging a similar approach but at higher price points. And for highly regulated markets like healthcare and industrial safety, we'll work with strategic partners to navigate compliance requirements and accelerate adoption. We will generate revenue through licensing our core technology and models, revenue sharing with life safety companies, and offering hardware and software with subscription and add-ons and equipment leasings and contracts. What do we need help with? We're all researchers, predominantly all researchers. We need help with product management, marketing and sales, business mentoring, and strategic partnerships. So this is the prototype in action, and we are at a 97% accuracy of predicting the difference between air and acetone. Lifelight, standardizing comprehensive life safety globally. Thank you guys for your time.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and unshare your screen. There you go. And ready for some questions from the judges?
Yes, sir.
Okay, write these down. First, we're gonna start with Chris.
Okay, nice work there, Frank. So looks like you are in a pretty early stage here. It looks like you have a working prototype. So I thought it was interesting that you were going with a licensing model. So I'm curious what kind of IP protections you have in place right now and what your plan is for that as you continue to develop your technology.
All right, next, Henry.
You mentioned starting in the residential consumer market. What's your predicted per unit costs?
And Himalaya.
+1 to Chris's question, and also, can you talk a little bit more about your competitors out there and who's doing similar work?
And Tim will give you 2 minutes once you've started talking.
Sure. So regarding IP protection, we are still at right now we have a provisional application, and we are getting into the design patents due to some of our charging tech, due to our design, and we are going to as we continue to innovate, we are getting into more provisional applications before we get to ultimately getting to the actual non-provisional. So why the residential? Residential, from my understanding, is that it will be a little more easier compared to industries such as hospitals and industrial. So that's from my understanding, just from a little bit of understanding from the market, from experience. I mean, we don't do residential at Johnson Controls, but just from the little experience that I have and from the little bit of um, research that I've done. And regarding the cost, I'm not sure what the cost just yet. What it may cost me to make this was $30. And so right now I'm just trying to pretty much get a better strategy on how to even make a product that actually is a product market fit. And it's not just from my bias from being in the industry and being inconvenienced. Regarding the competitors, there is a competitor out there, and from my understanding, they typically detect just the VOC, which is the volatile organic compounds. And regarding that's the closest competitor that I see. And ultimately, the reason why we are really here is that we're trying to get into this market, and we're much more in the quantum space. So we're trying to understand this market that would eventually usher us into getting more into the quantum sensors and detectors that we're really interested in. So that's where we're at.
And that's time.
Okay, thank you. And wait to see if the judges are finished. And Elizabeth, you're the last one. Are you ready to roll? Chris is good. Himalaya's
Yes,
good.
I am.
And Henry's good. Okay, Elizabeth, you ready? Want to go ahead and
Ready.
share your screen? And I'll give you the big intro.
Yes.
Once you're ready, you ready?
Ready.
All right, everybody, please welcome Elizabeth Kiriakou from Drip Tide Collective.
Hampton Roads' art scene can feel out of reach to its own residents, beyond visits to Vibe Creative District, the Chrysler Museum, and our cultural identity can feel a little bit difficult to describe. Are we coastal? Are we military? This leads to a missed opportunity to showcase local art and tell the story of our Hampton Roads through designs. To the 1.5 million residents, to the 7.5 million tourists we get each year, and to tap into and expand the 5 billion in annual tourism revenue alone. Drip Tide Collective is here to meet this opportunity with an art subscription service, providing local businesses and residents with access to local art, and to also expand local artists' footprint in the region, and a region-focused merchandise focusing on t-shirts that local residents and tourists alike will love. I will be leading this effort as a former USAID employee, Louisiana native, and Virginia Beach local, in partnership with local creatives across Hampton Roads, in an effort to create economic opportunity for them, and again, for all of us to feel more connected to our region. We'll provide gallery-style setups to the subscribers for the art subscription, tapping into the millions of residences, the thousands of restaurants, the hundreds of hotels, and tens of colleges and universities around the region. This will be done in a monthly fee model where art will be cycled out every quarter and every 6 months, depending on the needs, and divvied out. These revenues will be divvied out to the artists themselves. Local artists will then be tapped into for designing t-shirts by city, by neighborhood, and my favorite, by inside joke. As someone from Cajun country, Lafayette, Louisiana, who also spent my college years in New Orleans, you know the identity of both regions, and I really want that for us here in Hampton Roads. I'm taking inspiration from successful businesses across Louisiana, including Bear Walls and Parashink and Lafayette, Dirty Coast and Flirty Girl in New Orleans. And so now the question is, what do we need from you? To keep the artist's artwork safe, we want to invest in an insurance policy. We want to pay local artists for initial designs. We'd like to print an initial round of t-shirts and be able to table at festivals. Of course, we're also looking for connections, enthusiasm, and support, because by supporting local creatives, we can cultivate community. Driptide Collective. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. And are you ready for some questions from the judges?
Sure, I have my pen and paper.
Awesome. We're going to start with Henry this time.
Okay, so you're collecting, great job, by the way. You're collecting original artwork from artists. So what protections we have for their artwork to not be reproduced elsewhere?
And then Himalaya.
Can you talk a little bit more about the process of, are you physically collecting the artwork, or is this simply like a marketplace that then connects, the buyer and user or producer together? And sorry, if you're related to Henry's question, like not just like the reproduction, but like if you're physically holding on to it, then like what does that mean for like the space you're using and like the ability to keep that in the same medium that the person painted it in, with temperature and other issues?
And Chris?
Yeah, I appreciate what you're trying to do here for our region. Tim and I have actually been plugged into some efforts to kind of coalesce around a regional identity here, which has been a struggle for a long time. Pulling the creatives into this is essential. So again, that's just a personal appreciation, but kind of curious about your current situation. Are you currently making money with this, or is this kind of in concept right now? And would you see yourself expanding outside of this area?
Okay, Tim will give you 2 minutes when you start to answer.
Okay, excellent. So in terms of the protection, so as not to be protected elsewhere, produced elsewhere, I think that's just a risk you take with any art, right? Like, are people going to take pictures of your art? You just want to make sure that you have great inventory and controls in place. I'm a project manager by trade. And so our vision is, and to answer both of your questions, to take really great pictures of the artwork, to put it online, and then every 3 to 6 months for the businesses, have kind of a gallery designer. One or two of the local artists are already interested in this. Come in and set up the artwork in the residences or the homes themselves, and then kind of, again, take inventory and controls, make sure, give guidance to the residences, to the businesses on how to care for the art. And then again, that's kind of why we do need the funding, is to have an insurance policy in place. So estimating, for example, $250,000 worth of art, you'd need an insurance policy that'd be between $10,000 and $12,000 a year. So it's doable, but it's just, it takes some upfront costs. In terms of my ability to do this now, I'm sure as everybody's been following in the news, USAID has been dismantled. I was working for USAID, and I've been kind of protesting and writing op-eds and, getting out there, kind of bringing things down. And I'm really looking for an opportunity to build something up. And this is something that I always felt like I wanted to do. As soon as I moved here in 2020, I was like, where are the inside jokes? Like, say no to white sauce. We need a t-shirt for that, okay, for anybody who's recently eaten Mexican food around here. And so I have always felt really interested in this. Now I have the time and the energy to do it. I am looking to maybe expand this into something longer term, but I think for now, I just want to use my energy to do something creative and to build something up. Thanks for the question.
That's time.
Okay, thank you. We'll make sure the judges are settled. That's the end of our pictures. Great job, everybody. Thank you for being brave and going and doing that. When the judges are finished updating their forms, Chris is good. Henry's good. Himalaya is good. All right, we're going to send the judges off with Dan and Maurice, and they're going to go away, and they're going to talk about, we get to talk about them, and they're going to talk about you all. So And I think they're all gone. So, Dan, are you going to go away?
Go away, Dan.
Go away, Dan. We can't talk about you till you go.
And Henry, you should have the link to go in your DMs.
Yep. Dan is gone, and there you go, everybody. All right, Tim.
Now we can speak freely.
We can speak freely. No influence.
Elizabeth, you're so smart. I should have wrote down them questions.
I have to say, Michael, because you didn't, I did. So thank you.
Thanks,
I have to
thanks for
say,
taking one for the team.
Welcome.
and it's not Michael, is it? I know it's like
It's
your
Michael,
name is
yeah.
off. Oh, it is Michael. Okay.
Their names are right
Michael,
this
that's
time.
that's why I said, do you have something to capture the questions?
Hey, look, frozen a moment. Learning lessons.
Wow, what you said that you had him on your phone. I'm like, man, Michael would be typing fast on those notes on that phone.
Yeah.
Except turns out, Michael, you're already a local celebrity. People already know your podcast. I was like, wait, what? I was very excited about that.
Thank you. Well, we have a lot of, I feel like we've been blessed with people liking us. It's just, we started the podcast, just friends talking about anime. And we would do this whether we got any notoriety or not. It's a passion of ours. So God is good.
Well,
So do you
congratulations to
create
you all.
anime?
Create? Oh no, that's for the professionals. That's a whole nother. It looks simple. It looks like just cartoons, but it takes so much animation, artistic skills. I ain't got all that. I'm an observer. I appreciate the art.
Hey,
I'm a people person.
Hey, Matthew, I have a question for you. Is this the book?
Oh, you can't see it.
I can't see it. It's blocking out your screen.
Okay. The Gold Standard, Building a World-Class Team, Mike Krzyzewski.
No, it's Colin Cowie, and then that's Cowie.
Colin Cow.
So the last name is Charlie Oscar Whiskey India Echo.
Oh, Cowie.
Correct. So he's
giving
he's an
your
event
customers
planner
what
out
they
of,
don't know they wanted. Okay, cool. You highly recommend it?
I absolutely. So he is one of the top-rated special event planners in the United States. He's done events for Oprah Winfrey, Donald Trump, as well as a host of other people. And his absolute message is about serving the customer and building those relationships with them so that you continue that and having a plan ahead of time for when things go wrong, because inevitably they will.
Why is it on it's on Amazon, it's only $3.73.
I don't know, but it has helped shape the way that I approach my business.
Yeah.
A digital copy.
What's that?
It's a digital copy. You're gonna have to download it.
It says hardcover.
What's the book name again?
The Gold Standard.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can talk about book references and recommendations till the cows come home. So
it just caught my attention. I thought it was cool. So that's why I asked. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to everybody. You did very well. As I mentioned before, and for those that are watching, Micro Pitch 2, that will take place on May 14th. And if you have already applied to pitch and you have been approved to pitch, and for those that have pitched tonight, you obviously have been approved to pitch because you are pitching tonight. Those pitch, getting your pitch tickets, that is open and that is live. So if you've been approved to pitch, you know the link to go to. Everything is password protected. So if you're watching and haven't applied to pitch, apply to pitch. And then once you're approved, we'll give you that link. But everything is open back up. Like always, we do sell out. And we did sell out today, but we had a little unfortunate. A couple of people drop out, one of which being the alternate, so that does happen. But um, one thing that stands out though, and everybody that went to Pitch Perfect, you can attest to this when you look back and you think about how when people first started and they talked for 7, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and then when you see them again tonight, and how everything was really tight and kept within the 3 minute time frame. You can see the benefits attending Pitch Perfect. So you should be really, really proud of yourself. And if you're wondering about what Pitch Perfect is, well, before every micro pitch, in fact, 2 weeks before every micro pitch, we do have a Pitch Perfect session. That is where we talk about the elements of how to pitch. So the next Pitch Perfect will be April 30th, and then the micro pitch will be 2 weeks later on May 14th. And that will be, it's hard to believe, but that will be the first half of the Start Peninsula season will then be over. We'll kick things back up in June with an information session. But mark your calendars for July 11th. That is an event called Meet the Resources. And we turn the tables on the service providers, if you will. So rather than you pitching to people, we invite all of the people that help entrepreneurs and we give them an opportunity to pitch you as to who they are, what they do, and how they benefit or how they can benefit you, the founders. So that is Meet the Resources. That will be on July 11th. And that's online from 11 to 1. And likewise, that is another thing that always sells out. We have more resources that would like to pitch, so to speak, than we have slots available. So we will do that July 11th. And then starting in September, that's when we will do micro pitch 3 and 4. And as I mentioned, the championship pitch, we'll have that on November 5th. So a lot happening there regarding what's up and coming. Another thing to note is we will be hosting the Startup World Cup again this year. Last year was the first year that we did that. We had 4 or 5 people from Hampton Roads that made the top 10 for the state of Virginia. We did it at Zyder's Theater in Virginia Beach. And IV Watch from Newport News, they went on to win 3rd place in the entire world in that startup competition. So big shoes to fill when it comes to that. Pegasus Tech Ventures is the ones who contacted us to do the Virginia regional event. They said that was the best group of 10 people that they have seen. I believe them when they say that. Our goal was to turn the typical pitch competition upside down and make it fun and exciting. And I think we did a really good job of doing that. So we'll be doing it again, and we're trying to lock down dates and locations, but it's looking like it's going to be at the Sadler Center in Virginia Beach in the August timeframe. So it's going to be a bigger venue with bigger things to come. So keep that in mind as well.
Oh, one thing to remember when the judges come back, Tim, before we do announce finals, the 3 winners, is to have our picture.
That is right.
Because we always forget that.
Try not to.
Hey, Tim, a quick question.
Yes.
Do we register to be a participant or in the Meet the Resources, or is a link sent out and we just participate as the peanut gallery?
Yes. We'll make it, we'll get all the marketing and all that stuff. That'll get turned around. And one great thing for you all is that you are plugged into the entrepreneurial community now. So we will make sure that we will get you the information that you need. And as we get people registered in terms of the resources, we'll make sure that we put that out. But typically, like what we've done in years past is like, this is what economic development is. This is what they can do for you. This is what the Small Business Development Center, this is how you get IP and patent protection. We'll have some some venture people that are on there. This is what angel investors are. This is what they're looking for. So we'll run the whole gamut in terms of it's a well done event. But yeah, we will make sure 100% that you got the info you need.
I think this was a response to the worldwide thing. Michelle King says it was fantastic and can't wait for this one.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and there's a lot of pressure on us to even do more than what we did last year, but I'm looking forward to it. Stephanie, you were looking for the date for what?
Both of the items, the
Meet the
big
Resources is
competition and then the resource.
Meet the Resources is July 11th. I'm afraid to say what because we're waiting to hear back from Sadler Center.
Okay.
We're trying for August 21st, but that is super light pencil in terms of
Okay.
that date. But we had 350. We stopped ticket sales last year at 350 people, and we were turning people away. So if this year, I think Sadler holds 1,000, we would love to sell that out, and we'll be bringing people in from across the state. It was great, and we're gonna try to make it a multiple day event so that we can have different workshops and everything centered around that as well. Billy, do you have a question?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Any other questions from folks?
Does Nyla have a last name?
Does who?
Does Nyla?
Oh,
No, she
Oh.
doesn't.
She doesn't talk. Does she talk?
She can talk, yes. So she's teleoperated. There's someone on the other end. And we're actually working to also make her language accessible in, I believe it's over 60 languages. So
Oh, wow.
a lot of opportunities there too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Will all of them be named Nyla, or will you give them all a different name?
They'll all be named Nyla, but it might be kind of like the Smurfs, where there's, each one has their own personality.
Is Nyla an acronym, or is it just the name that you guys picked?
It's a name that we picked with the origin of the name relating to the root word of like caring, since it is like a nursing-based robot. So that's how that came about.
It's
Matthew,
interesting that to make it so that she can speak and understand other languages, because if you imagine when you're sick or not feeling well, you don't want to have to switch to some lingua franca that isn't your language. You want to be able to communicate in your native tongue, because then you don't have to translate and think. You can just say how it feels. So yeah, I would think that would be really cool for it.
I would definitely bridge the gap because I used to work in the medical field, and we used to get a lot of patients that could not speak English, and it was definitely a gap in trying to interpret why they needed to be seen.
Yep.
Yeah, we're actually using an AI-based solution for that. So it's pretty nice because like Swati and I have both seen working in the hospital, if someone uses the call bell and you can't understand what they need from you, it is a lot more challenging to promptly get them what they need. And, they deserve the same standard of care, even if English isn't their primary language or their preferred language even.
Another book, as you guys were talking books, is Unreasonable Hospitality. If you have not read that, that's another great one. It's a story of how someone wanted to become the best restaurant in the world, and it's starting with how you prepare the restaurant staff wise, and then to get to your Michelin star ratings and how you do that. But really, really great stuff that you can apply to business as well. So when you have people walking around the restaurant and they overhear someone saying, "Oh, they're located in New York City," the one thing I didn't get a chance to do was have a hot dog from Central Park, and then someone overheard that, and then they had a runner go get one, and then they plated the hot dog so that they were able to do that. Just going those extra lengths to really please the people. But great read, great listen, however you consume your books.
Is that Will Guidara?
Yes.
Huh.
And I can't remember the TV show. I can't remember the name of the show, but that show was, I can't think of what it is. But a TV show was modeled after that as well.
It's cool. I remember years ago, probably 20 years ago, more than that, maybe 25, maybe 30 years ago. And somebody was talking about a hotel, the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, and how they trained people for customer service and things like that. And I found this in my stuff. I have a card that they all carried, every employee carried in their pocket, and it had their core values and different things. But I remember on the front of the card, it said, "We are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen." And I thought that was a powerful statement. This reminded them that no matter what your job was in the hotel, you were ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. There was no class structure, and they just had some fantastic stories of customer service that I thought were really, really, really powerful. Some guy goes to the gym and employees were empowered to do things. And one guy didn't bring his tennis shoes when he was traveling for work, and so the guy in the gym said, "I'm sorry, sir, you can't use the equipment without shoes." And the guest said, "Well, I didn't pack them, and I do this every morning, but I guess I'll have to forfeit today." And he said, "Well, what size do you wear?" And he said, "Well, I'm a 11 or whatever." And the guy said, "Well, I wear an 11, and I'm going to be sitting behind the desk. So if you'd like to borrow my shoes, you're welcome to." So it was like they would do things that were beyond the pale. It was a really, I remember just hearing about that stuff was really cool.
I remember I grew up in Alaska, and my second job out of high school was working for Nordstrom's. And Nordstrom is known for their customer service, and I worked there for 5 years. And I'm going to tell you that set me on the trajectory of how to treat customers, was their standard of customer service. And that's what I have implemented in my business as well. But it helps you in all aspects of life when you learn great customer service. And it's not about what you're going to get out of it. Like, what is what am I going to benefit from? Or, what are they going to do for me? You just feel great when you give great customer service and you make somebody happy.
Something that I do that reminds me, which I know it's not achievable for everyone to do this, but I'm a hospice volunteer. So I go to a nursing home in my town, and I have patients that I just sit and look at books with them and talk to them. And my job is to fix nothing and just be nice. And it really is an education when I go and do that. And I go, wow, I don't have to fix anything. I just have to be nice. And it really transforms into the rest of my life, that I'm able to go and be joyful that I did this thing, and I don't get bogged down in a lot of the stuff I used to get bogged down in. But it's that same idea, like, it's customer service, right? It's the customer experience, and they just happen to be people who are on the way out, and okay, and I also realized they don't get visits. Their families don't visit them because it's too uncomfortable. So maybe I'm the only smiley face they see besides the aide or the nurse every day. But
Thank you for doing that.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. I love my dad was in hospice for about 5 years. So once he
Oh,
passed,
wow.
I volunteered and they wouldn't let me do it until he'd been gone for a year. And then they said, okay, we'll train you and now you can do it. And so, yeah, so they, of course they pass on and I get new ones, but the months we have together are fun. So the
That's very
judges are
special.
back.
Woo.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back.
The smoke has risen.
Okay, Dan has sent me what's happening. He sent me the results, but we got to do our picture first.
Yep, I need to go into gallery view and get this picture of everyone's smiling face. Look at that, Chris. You're amazing. All right. 1, 2, 3. We have, and the joke is we have to do the picture before we announce the winners because everyone's happy. And that's the deal.
Right.
Before we do
Except
that, though,
I'm
and I know that we have everybody's attention,
Did
but I want to take a second and thank Dan Gerard. Dan is retiring, so 26 years for the city of Hampton, and Friday is his last day. And Dan and I, this is year 14 for Start Peninsula. Dan and I have heard every single pitch for 14, this being 14 years. So you're between 30 and 52 pitches a year. So you can do the math of how many pitches that we have heard over that time. So Dan, I can't thank you for all that you did, all you did for Start Peninsula. And you have made a tremendous impact on a lot of founders, and you will for many, many years after you retire. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim.
All right,
okay.
Gary.
Are we
We're not
ready?
giving him a free bicycle?
Have you seen how much Dan?
I know.
I don't even want to give that away.
Are you guys ready? You ready? You ready? You really ready? Oh my sound went off. I can't say who it is. Oh no. All right. Here they go in no particular order. Lifelight with Frank King. TRO Energy Solutions with Edward DeVries. And Hypercube Motors Corporation with Jacqueline Akers.
Wow. Congratulations, everybody. Judges, would you like to make any comments to our pitchers?
I'll say a couple of quick things here. Everyone did a great job. Very strong pitches this time. Didn't make our job very easy. We did have more than 3 that we were talking about and had to toss around a few different names. So I'm not going to step on anyone else's shoes here, but I did want to say that we encourage you that if you didn't quote unquote win tonight to come back again, retool. I know a couple of you guys didn't get to finish your presentations. Would love to have heard the rest of those. So there are other opportunities. And I can think of several Start Peninsula participants that didn't win, didn't go to the finals, and went on to have very, very successful businesses, multiple businesses in some cases. So don't feel discouraged tonight, and great job, everybody.
This is the first time I've done this, and this is the hardest thing I've done all day, and it's been a tough day. So thanks for including me on this. I'd love to be, hopefully I'll get invited back. An invitation to all of you. The Virginia Beach Hive is open to the whole region. There's a variety of elements we can help you with in your business, wherever you are in that stage. So I encourage you to come over and visit with us if you haven't done so already.
I just wanted to quickly say thank you all for sharing your pitches and your visions. I think that in any competition, there's only a select number of winners, but that entrepreneurship isn't a competition, right? There are no winners and losers in that same capacity. And so you each will have your own trajectory. So I hope that you keep that in mind of like being able to have your goals and being able to meet them regardless of what happens in a competition. Also, one of the things that we kind of discussed in the judges room was being able to provide you all with additional resources, being able to support you on your journeys. And so I've reached out to several of you, but if you all want any personalized support from myself, I'm more than happy to do that, and I'll put my email in the chat. And so feel free to email me. I'd be happy to work with you all on your pitch, on just thinking about your business plan, on your scalability, defensibility, or anything else you want to chat about.
Well, judges, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Gary, thank you for being the MC, and Zach helping behind the scenes. It's a lot goes into this to make this look smooth to the front facing folks. But also want to thank to the city of Hampton, the city of Newport News, York County, James City County, Poquoson, City of Williamsburg. It is the support of the EDA that make this possible, and all the prize money that all comes from them. They support you, the founders, and entrepreneurship, so we wouldn't be able to do it without their support. And thank you. This is a whole new batch of founders that have come out. No repeats from last year, so it always amazes me that we get more and more founders every single year with new ideas, addressing new challenges, and solving new problems. So congratulations to you all. We will be in touch. We'll get a replay out. We'll send some emails out. We'll send links to get back on the horse again if you want to pitch in May. And to the people that are moving forward, you'll get an email from us as well about next steps there. But thank you all so much for joining us. Dan,
and I really encourage
don't
you,
forget us.
which we did talk about, I really encourage y'all to, if you're going to pitch again, to look at Pitch Perfect and just go through that, and you'll get some good ideas from there. Highly recommend it. So.
Yeah, and it was like normal. 2 out of 3 winners will attend Pitch Perfect, and that was the case again tonight. So awesome, everybody. Thank you so much.
you.
Have a great evening.
Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations to everybody.
Bye.
Congrats.
Thanks, everyone.